Hello, everybody. This is my review of the May 4, 2022 edition of AEW Dynamite. But where I'm from, it's May the 5th. So the show starts with Jeff Hardy and Bobby Fish for the last spot in the Owen Cup tournament. This match was clearly made for TV because it was 10 minutes long and then it was slow for 8 of those minutes. There was a lot of lying down. It was also pretty grounded for a Jeff Hardy match. But I really can't blame the guy because he's getting up there in age. He's not able to do what he used to do. But good thing, the crowd made this match bearable. So, they ate this shit up. The fans in the building really made this match bearable to watch because it just wasn't that good. But we had some good spots. The spot of the match was a Falcon Arrow from the top turnbuckle by Bobby Fish to Jeff Hardy. He then went for a pin and then got the 2 count and then straight to a knee bar. This looked really nice here. For the out-of-the-ring work, we have some great managerial work from Matt Hardy. We have some great commentary by Adam Cole. He really made the match for the TV viewers bearable. And then we have Darby and Sting watching from the rafters because Darby's going to be facing the winner of this match. That's already confirmed. Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin next week. And after the match, we get the Young Bucks having a stare down with the Hardy Boys, teasing a future match and maybe some shenanigans next week. But I think that Darby has to win that, right? Or we could go for Jeff if he manages to put on a better performance than this. But yeah. I'm going to give this match here 6 out of 10. It was nothing special. I could have done without it. It was probably just a rating spot for Jeff Hardy. People love him. So for the next segment, we get a video package from the Blackpool Combat Club with William Regal doing some dialogue here. The video shows them beating the shit out of Wheeler Yuta, as well as some match highlights. William Regal is amazing, man. He has a great way with words. He is also very poetic and effective at delivering his dialogue. He had a great line about taking a knife and wounding someone's face instead of stabbing him outright so they'll remember you every time they look in the mirror. This was a 10 out of 10 angle here for what they were trying to do, for what it is, just being a video segment. An in-ring promo would have been better because they were going to have a match anyway, so let's get to this match. So Blackpool Combat Club enter from 4 locations. So Bryan Danielson from the heel tunnel, Wheeler Yuta from the face tunnel, Moxley from the crowd, and William Regal on the announce table. A lot of people have a problem with this. They say it's too messy, but come on, man. It makes them who they are. They are the hottest faction in this company right now. Nobody has ever done this before. We always had everyone coming from one location. Let's embrace change here. Their opponents here are Angelico, the Butcher, and the Blade. They didn't even get an entrance, and I hope they get used more, especially Angelico. That man can do amazing wrestling stuff. And so these guys attack BCC as Mox enters the ring. And then we get this piece of commentary gold from William Regal, where he goes, "I love seeing fellows being tossed around by big men," as well as him calling Angelico, and him calling Excalibur man with a mask because of the British thing. And then he also had this great line about them being Harvard, Oxford, and Cambridge. William Regal is amazing on the commentary table. He's a great manager. He can have a lot of roles in this company. What a great signing. So this match had great pacing. It started out real fast with the attack on the outside and then some running moves. It then slowed down with Angelico's submissions that I wish got better reactions because these did look very good. So the story of the match was the heel team beating up Wheeler Yuta as he tries to get a tag from Mox and Danielson, or he just tries to impress them as much as he can because his teammates did not help him at all. It was said that they wanted him to be beaten up for him to learn and stuff. That's their thing. And so Wheeler eventually gets the tags, and then Mox and Danielson just kill everyone. Spot of the match was when everyone was in the ring. BCC put everyone in these submission moves. They beat the shit out of them. And then Angelico eventually taps out to Bryan Danielson. I hope we get an Angelico versus Danielson technical style match. That would be cool. Maybe next week. Maybe in Rampage. Yeah, because that guy needs to be elevated. I can't even say it enough. So this was a great match that heated up the crowd. There were some good reactions to BCC and little to none for their opponents. Angelico got his shit in very well as the Butcher. The Blade not so much, but for what they were trying to achieve here, it has to be a 10 out of 10. And if you add on to that the video package that set this up, this is like more than a 10 out of 10. What a great part of the show right here. So after this, we get a backstage segment between Jurassic Express and Starks and Hobbs, where Jungle Boy challenges Ricky Starks for a shot at the FTW Championship. This was a 7 out of 10 segment. Ricky Starks was the man in this segment. He really talked well and he reacted to stuff like Luchasaurus's growls that he should stop doing. Like, his character should start growing a brain and then start talking like he did back then, where he kept mentioning his master's degree in medieval history. So yeah, and then Christian was the second best performer here. He did really well in advancing the storyline, the hinting that he's going to turn on the team. And Jungle Boy sounded like he was just trying to recite like the promo that he just learned a while ago. And yeah, this was a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Great stuff by Starks. Excited for the match next week. Apparently I forgot to review the Keith Lee and Swerve Scott segment. This was alright. This was just a rerun of their Keith Lee saying big words while Swerve Scott is trying to like understand them. It's nothing special. They should just have a match or something. 6 out of 10. For match number 3, we have Wardlow versus W.Morissey. I like how they did the Goldberg entrance with Wardlow, how he was handcuffed and then escorted by a lot of security guards to the ring. And then he didn't have his music, but his music was effectively the fans chanting Wardlow like they did back in the day with Bill Goldberg, but now with someone who actually is good at wrestling. So props to this Baltimore crowd here. They added to this segment. What an innovative thing to do. And then we get him entering the ring, and then MJF introducing his Monster of the Week, W.Morissey, or Big Cass, back in the WWE. And I liked how he entered, he got reactions, and then they did this sort of high five thing where MJF tells Morrissey to bring it down because he's 7 foot tall and you can't teach that. The match itself was not as good as the pomp and circumstance that surrounded it. This match was only about 6 minutes long, but it was awesome to see Big Cass again. It's nice to see him do well, especially after his out-of-the-ring antics like the few years before when he was released by the WWE. And also, I like how he reacted to the crowd taking the piss out of him. This match was pretty much just a slow brawl with a lot of milking of the crowd. This sort of got the crowd out of the match a bit and got them to chant, "We want Enzo, no we don't." That pissed off Big Cass, and he reacted well. But yeah, this was the match. There was a nice spot. Spot of the match was Wardlow doing a moonsault on a standing Big Cass, leading to the power bomb, like just one. This guy is a monster. Big Cass is 7 foot tall. You can't teach that. He looks the best shape of his life. And then you finish him off with just one power bomb. Yeah, I feel Archer was harder to beat. And I'm a bit disappointed at this match itself, but with what they were trying to accomplish, this did its job. It made Wardlow look good, but Morrissey looked pretty weak if they're trying to sign him. And then we get this post-match thing where Wardlow challenges MJF to a match to finally terminate his contract. Wardlow isn't the best promo yet, but I think he'll get there. MJF sets up this contract signing next week on Dynamite in his home turf of Long Island. That's gonna be a must-watch segment right there. So for what this whole thing was trying to accomplish, I would give this a score of 7 out of 10 because the match itself was not very good. It also made W.Morissey look kinda weak. But with everything surrounding this feud and their whole thing that they did to set it up, like the whole entrance and the post-match segment, this brings it up to about a 7. This is followed by a backstage confrontation between Toni Storm, Ruby Soho, Britt Baker, and then Jamie Hayter. So Britt and Ruby were like such good promos here. This was like a 1+ minute promo where they were intense. They set up their match the next week, and Britt sort of made Toni laugh. She made her corpse. So yeah, this was an alright segment. 8 out of 10. And then we get this segment where Adam Page kind of turns heel, but not completely yet. This was a great promo with great reactions. You know what? Fuck the Adam Page haters. This guy can fucking talk. He doesn't need to have like any of these promos where the person is mad at the world or like is insulting everyone all the time, or even like this catchphrase laced fucking promo like I'm the guy, or this is the brand, or maybe acknowledge me. Adam Page doesn't need to be a fantasy character or like a silly character in order to be considered good at promos, because he's already effective and intense at delivering these realistic style promos like he did now. And yeah, he had this line about masturbatory tribute matches. This is a 9 out of 10 segment. Great promo. So after this, we get a hype video package for Konosuke Takeshita. He's from DDT and from Sea-Dog VA's wrestling video. He was his tag team partner and instructor. Such a great and informative video that I'm gonna link over here because it's so good and it helps out DDT a lot, so you guys should watch it. And after this is a directly related segment starring Jay Lethal, Sonjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh, where Dutt and Lethal cut these intense promos. He challenges Konosuke Takeshita on Rampage, and that's gonna be a good match. I can't wait. And yeah, this was effective. As a whole, like both of these, since they're related, I'm going to grade them together. 8 out of 10 segments. Okay, so the next match is Santana versus Chris Jericho. There were a lot of birds flipped in this match. It definitely wasn't for kids that much. But the match starts out like basically as a street fight outside the ring. Matt Menard and Ortiz were awesome outside. They really contributed to the match. Santana is a very good sort of high-flying, street-fighting, unorthodox style wrestler, while Chris Jericho, like, he's always good. Come on, he always strikes gold with these characters, and he did the same in this match. He did some sports entertainment type taunting. But for the match itself, it slowed down after the street fight outside. There was a lot of downtime where they were on the floor, and you know how much I like that. I don't. But yeah, I could have done without all of that. And also the callbacks and the tributes. You need to dial back on that as well, but I guess that's a part of Santana's moveset now. There was a lot of distractions, and I feel this is on the higher side of TV matches. It was pretty fun. So the match ends with a low blow and a Judas effect. As I said, this was a TV match. It progressed the story. They were beaten down after, and I'm gonna give this 7 out of 10. I may have sounded very negative initially, but yeah, this was an alright TV match that progressed the story, and what happened in the ring was aight. Next, we have a very brief Samoa Joe promo, which was intense and effective, and that's what I like. Samoa Joe is such a great promo, and for what this is and what it's trying to accomplish, I really can't find anything wrong with it, so I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. Nice promo from Samoa Joe. After this, we get a comedy segment between the Acclaimed and the Ass Boys, where the brothers Ass gave the Acclaimed scissors, and then they started scissoring each other hard backstage. This was a nice, dumb, fun comedy segment that got a great reaction from the crowd as well as social media, so I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. So we return to the ring with the Varsity Blondes calling out the House of Black for corrupting Julia Hart. So Pillman Jr. was doing all the talking. He called out John Harbaugh in relation to his father. But he's sort of... he's intense, but his voice broke. He stuttered a little. He needs a little more work. So due to this got a poor reaction from the crowd. But then the House of Black came in looking like badasses. They came in dressed as Satanists with awesome music and the lights turned off. But they did this sort of teleporting thing where they turned off the lights and the House of Black just showed up places. But the lights turning off were kind of slow. It would have been more convincing that they were teleporting if they were just turning off the lights for a couple of seconds shorter. So they proceed to destroy the Varsity Blondes, and then Malachi tries to seduce Julia Hart to their side by beating the shit out of Griff Garrison on the floor with a chair, but Julia resists, and then the Death Triangle comes in for the rescue. They should have just turned Julia Hart right there, because this is getting tedious. This has been going on for months on Dark. So they should do it next week at most. Fine 8 out of 10 segment. So I forgot to review another segment. It's the Jade Cargill and the Baddies section promo. They were okay. Jade carried this segment, of course. And the rest needed to work on their promo skills some more. But they're much better than what happens later. 7 out of 10. Now it's time for the match of the night. We have the final Owen qualifier, Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin. Okay, so this was a steal the show type of match, and I like how Rey Fenix stayed in the ring from the last segment. There was continuity there. If he went back for another entrance, that would have been dumb and would have eaten through precious TV time. So I'm glad that this happened. The match itself, these guys went fast all the way. There was a lot of flippy acrobatic maneuvers that some old heads don't like. Because, come on, how the Ravens players and the rest of the crowd paid attention to the entire match, taking pictures. This is what wrestling is now. Everyone knows it's fake. Everyone knows it's staged. So having a serious sort of just punching match, pretending it's all real, that's so dumb. Just have them go out there and go all the way. Have some great choreographed matches, because you can't get that anywhere aside from movies. This was also better than any other traditional style match that we had tonight, like the Santana versus Chris Jericho or the Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. Come on, guys. You can't really get this anywhere. You can't get highly choreographed acrobatic fights that are live anywhere aside from wrestling. We can get acrobatic fights in movies, but that's gonna take a long time to make. Let's not be closed-minded anymore, please. If the WWE can go for their stupid fucking bizarre fucking gimmicks and segments, AEW is allowed to have these flippy, acrobatic, well-choreographed matches. So now for the match itself. The story of the match is Rey Fenix getting back into his old form, because he was injured, and Dante, a lot of the match was dominating Fenix, but Fenix did harder moves and ultimately did his finish to end the match. This gets a 9 out of 10 for me because even though it had some good reactions, some nice chants, it was just a little too flippy. It was a little bit in that direction too much, and it had little to no heat coming in. And after this, we have the worst segment of the show, a promo between Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb. So this was somewhat poorly written. This was also very poorly performed. Thunder Rosa has an accent, as we all know. She's Mexican. But that's sort of not the problem here. If she just delivers it better, she would sound better. Because she has these YouTube videos where she eats tacos and she's really fun in that. She should really channel that into her promos. And Serena Deeb wasn't really 100% in on this. She's a bit sluggish, and yeah, this didn't come out well. They should have been in the middle of the ring. The crowd was like dead for this. They disrespected the shit out of the champion. And I hope this doesn't ruin Thunder Rosa's championship reign or brand her to the fans as a poor promo. Like, even if she improves, like, fans will start like shitting on her and stuff. And I know there's some of you out there who like actually hate her for her accent as well as other like foreigner accents. Foreign to you, but not to us. Come on, like, I know you prefer like this American or like this more British style sort of way of talking, like how I am trying to do now. But you also have these shitty accents, especially the British. So next is Johnny Hungee's promo challenging CM Punk next week. And this was really good. He's a charismatic dude. Very, very entertaining. I hope they don't release him. So 10 out of 10. Now for the main event, we have Mercedes Martinez versus Deonna Purazzo for the ROH Women's Championship. Okay, so first of all, apparently this is a unification match. I don't know the story behind this, but this match just, plain and simple, disappointed. I heard Deonna was really good, and I've seen Mercedes Martinez perform really well, like throughout her run in the WWE as well as here. This match was just too short. They paced it like a main event match, but 9 minutes isn't enough for a slow build, as we all know from playing TEW 2020. So I think Tony Khan should play that, and they should have just overran. Or like better, they should have just went all out from the start, because this didn't have a good crowd reaction. Most of the people there were either leaving or bored. A small segment did try to save this match. They tried to react, they tried to chant, but they just couldn't. They should have just tried like sort of New Japan style, sort of fast and furious ending type, because that ending too was a bit abrupt. Mercedes just hit her finisher like out of nowhere, and this was submission, so it wasn't really that exciting and made Deonna Purazzo tap out. There wasn't much drama in this. So I'm gonna give this match, sadly, like a like a 4.5. This was a better match than the Wardlow and Cass one was, because you had good workers here, but yeah, this wasn't that exciting. This wasn't that engaging. So to sum things up, this was actually a mediocre Dynamite. This was sadly not one of the best shows. This could have been better. We had like 2 Dynamites of like bangers back to back. I guess this had to happen, but yeah, this was disappointing. I hope you liked this review, even though it was a bit rough on some parts, that I sort of insulted some people in some parts. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification for future videos, and bye-bye.